Okay, so I have my Bumpsteer gauge set up. Basically want to make sure this is even, which is not right now because I'm changing this from non-verted to inverted. And then I'll zero this back out when I'm done. But that's what I'm doing right now. All right, so I went ahead and inverted it. One thing I kind of worry about with this is I might need to redo the alignment because I just moved it from here to here. So of course the toe angle has changed and has also changed this angle. So that might actually throw measurements off and not make this equal test between non-verted and inverted. So if I don't like the results that I get and they look too off, I will do the toe and make sure that the toe is the same when I measure from here and when I measure from here. And I'll just kind of redo this experiment. But let's see what the results we get. Okay, so I just got done doing the measurements here. And now I'm gonna flip it back just to see if I get consistency with the measurements. I'm going to do this test one more time. This time I'm going to go ahead and align it with strings. So I'm going to align it to a toe setting with strings while it's non-verted. Well, actually I'll just use the same alignment that it has right now while it's non-verted. And then I'm going to invert it and then realign the toe rod to be at the same alignment and then redo this test. That way it should be completely fair. All right, guys, it's nighttime. Had fatherly duties to do all day, take a kid to the arcade, so I waited a little late. But I realigned it using these two things. I just put them right here next to each other, and then I used a tape measure against this plate. Made sure it was even on this side and this side. And basically this side and then this side. Made sure they were both even. They're both even. And I got the exact same result. So far my tests have concluded, even though I have it inverted. Can't really see. Let me see if I can get some light. Well, you can't really see, but I have it inverted right now. You can see my arm, how it's above. There's the bolt. It's really dark, sorry, but it is inverted, and it just looks like inverted causes a way bigger angle change than the non-inverted. Okay, so to conclude this video, basically I went ahead and realigned it when I inverted it. As normal, my suspension sits with non-inverted tie rod ends. So in order to make the experiment equal, I went ahead and redid the alignment using strings and a tape measure to get the toe back to the same that it was when it's non-inverted. So as you can see with the results, when the suspension sits with the lower control arm pretty much parallel to the ground, with about 2 inches, because I'm not able to remove my springs because I don't have dry brakes where my line comes out. So to remove the top hat, I'd have to regas my shocks. So I tried to do what I could just to show you guys the behavior of what happens when you invert tie rod ends when it's a level lower control arm versus leaving the regular style tie rod through the top, or tie rod end through the top. With the results, you can see that the bump steer is less severe versus when you invert the tie rod, it has a very steep curve of tons of bump steer that happens. But what's interesting is, even though I wasn't able to go past 2 inches without starting to lift up the car, you could see that the non-inverted started to level out, while the the inverted started to level out, but the non-inverted actually started to jump up. So this could possibly show that a lowered, like I'm talking like slammed car, where the geometry is already pretty much messed up anyway. On a slammed car, maybe you could get some benefit out of making the tie rod ends inverted. But for track performance cars, or cars that are worried about the geometry and having proper roll center and instant center and whatnot, I think for the most part you'll be better off leaving the tie rod ends non-inverted and having a slight angle just like it does when it's stock. That concludes the video. I know this video was kind of all over the place. I have dad duties at times, and had my kid with me, so I was trying to get a video out really quick. I just wanted to get the mission done. You guys saw what happens when you invert it versus non-inverted. That's all that really matters. I showed you that I did use a bump steer just to show you guys that yes, a Bumpsteer gauge was used. So that was pretty much just a mission with the video. I will pretty much collect regular data for my own car and my own benefits and my own tuning. This isn't going to be like specific data on my car, because I didn't even have the correct toe settings that I sit at, and correct camber settings that I usually sit at. So and also keep in mind, you want to also kind of know what your bump steer is doing when you're turning as well, because that changes the tie rod as you're turning. So it changes the camber angle, changes, you're also having compression when you're turning. So you also kind of want to know how much of a toe angle you're getting when the wheels are turning as well. So all that data I'll do on my own personal thing, but I wanted to show the people, you guys, what happens when you invert versus non-inverted on a track setup. All right, peace.